Welcome to this edition of Feel Good Friday. My name is Shauna Lynn Brandmeier. I am the Vice Chair of the NECAT Board. And this Friday, we are highlighting NECAT, which is really great. So with me today is Cameron. He is our person at NECAT that runs all kinds of things for us and handles everything and is doing a great job on it. Welcome, Cameron. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, Shauna Lynn. It's good to be back on Feel Good Friday. How are you doing?
I'm good. We just kind of wanted to highlight NECAT and everything we have done this year during the pandemic. Of course, Feel Good Fridays is one of them. That came out of our board ideas of there's so much great work in our community that nonprofits are doing, and we needed to highlight them and feature them. So I just want to spend a few minutes talking about what we've done. So if you could kind of walk us through, how has your year during this pandemic been at NECAT?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a strange year, obviously, just being at home and kind of relearning how to make TV from home. In a lot of ways, for all of the evil that has been in the world because of this pandemic, the one great thing that I think has come of it is we have relearned how to make things, how to do a better job at reaching people where they're at, and just being involved in the community in a way that we may not have ever done if we didn't have the opportunity to rethink how we were making television. From home this year, like we mentioned, Feel Good Friday, I believe this is the 19th episode overall that we've shot of this. We've talked to a lot of great nonprofits, a couple of other, we also, on top of that, talked with our NECAT Film Festival, which we held at the end of last year. We talked to Dr. Gangrene at some point about his 20 plus years on television here in Nashville. So we've been able to highlight a lot of great things that are going on with that. And like you said, that was something that was born out of our board discussions. NECAT has one of the best boards in Nashville right now. I mean, I think we have just all these great people that have great ideas, and they're bringing their talent to the table and offering up their skills and expertise to make things better. I feel like throughout this whole thing, everyone, it's almost like we didn't miss a beat. Like we went from meeting in person to meeting digitally. It took a little bit of time to say, hey, what can we do better? And everybody on the board had a great idea about how to do that. And I think just the sheer fact that we said, instead of making this all about NECAT and how can people help us, we said, let's give it back to the community. Let's go talk to these other nonprofits. Let's see where their needs are at, and let's try to meet them right there in the place that they're at. And I think that's just spectacular.
I agree. I think it is really, and it has been one of those things that I think has brought a feel-good moment to other nonprofits, that somebody recognizes what they're doing on a normal basis, but also we had a double whammy last year. We had the tornado and a pandemic, and all of these nonprofits out there in the community are really killing it. I mean, they've all adjusted, they have all adapted. I mean, I have heard more people say, we have reached out to more people in the community because we were able to do things virtually, open it up to people in other parts of Tennessee or around the country or around the world. And it's been really inspiring to hear about their efforts as well. We have highlighted a lot of nonprofits that we've had long relationships with, and we've also met some new ones. So I really think it's been good for NECAT and good, hopefully, for our nonprofits, but also our main point of raising awareness, and good for the people who watch our channels and maybe have never heard of these nonprofits before and what they offer. So it's really been a highlight for me of this year and the efforts that we have done. Talk a little bit about our members. I mean, we normally, on a normal year, we have a studio with a full, production. Talk about how our members have adjusted and some of their shows that we are still airing and still receiving content if people have content that they want to share.
We definitely have seen a whole lot of that. Our membership has went from being, where they could come to the studio basically and book it for a day and make a show. They've started to go out into the community. They're shooting things in their living room, fireside concerts, and, like just talking to people that are in their house. I've seen a lot of different interesting programming. Like I mentioned before, with the Nashville NECAT Film Festival that we did, we had close to 80 films from different filmmakers, both right here in Nashville and all over the world, both from our members and people who had never stepped foot into NECAT before, who really got their first taste of it through that spot. What I saw were just people getting super creative and with limited availability, because you can't put a big crew together, you can't put a big cast together. So they were making things with their spouses and their children, and just like trying to basically do everything themselves. It's like acting in the thing, shooting it with their own camera, doing the music themselves. They're relearning how to do that, and we've been able to help them do that. While the studio's been closed, we're still checking out cameras to people and giving it to our members a week at a time. They can contact us here at the studio. We basically give them a camera package that has audio and lights if they need it, and they take that home for a week. They make stuff, they turn it around and give it back to us, and we've been airing that content just about all year long. Additionally to that, we took a big step in offering some space to the Metro Public Schools, and we've had teachers that have reached out to us, and they've given us some stuff from their classroom that we've been airing on NECAT. Back before MNPS decided to go back to school digitally, we were airing that content during the day for parents who wanted their kids to get educational content at home. There's so many different ways television can reach out to kids. A lot of what is on the air is basically built with a mindset to sell them something. It's like they want to sell them action figures, they want to sell them food with sugar in it. They want to do all those things. NECAT offers a commercial-free space where they're able to just learn and take in that educational content with no other, there's no other plan there. We're not trying to get them to go bug their parents and say, hey, mom, dad, buy me this, buy me this, buy me this. And I think that that's a really special place to be in the TV landscape right now. And I think that's why when people do tune in to channels 9, 10, or 19 at any point in time, they know that it's it's like we may have some strange content on from time to time, but it is a safe place in the sense that we're not trying to sell you anything.
Very creative.
Yeah,
it's a safe place for people.
Absolutely. And again, I think that speaks to, NECAT has always been a space for free speech. It's always been a place that you can come, no matter what your politics are, your religion is, what your sexuality is. We're here for all people to basically, put their voice out there. And if someone doesn't agree with it, we say, well, you could also make a show and offer a counterpoint to the thing that you disagree with. And I think in that way, the way that NECAT works is very democratic, and we have a great, set of people involved, like say at the board level, at the membership level. I think, everyone that walks in the door, I think, is there to create. And Nashville just being the mecca that it is right now for creativity and just all the great things that are happening. I mean, Nashville's always been a music city. Obviously, that's the way we sell ourselves tourism wise. But you have so many people right now that are making, visual art through murals and paintings and things like that. You have people that are making music videos, all the different stuff. And what we're trying to do here is just capture that moment in time. And, whenever people look, at what's happening right now, the great thing about television and the great thing about what NECAT's doing is we are going to be able to offer a portrait of this. So 10 years in the future, or 20 years in the future, or 30 years in the future, people can look at this content that was made right here, right now. And they can say, this is what Nashville looked like in this ever growing and changing city. I've been in town 20 years now. I know whenever I drive around some of the neighborhoods, they don't look the same way that they used to. But the cool thing about television and making this stuff is you see those changes occurring, and you can kind of look back and say, look how different things were. Look how much we've grown. Look how these things have changed. And that is a way that I think television offers photographic evidence, both visual and audio, where you can see where people were at. I know over the years, it's like as long as I'm here, you may see stuff where my hair is shorter. At some point, it will probably be grayer. And it's one of those things, like, it'll be nice to look back and say, oh, I was young once, and we were able to do all of these things. And just this past week, I went out and I filmed some kids that were with Able Youth, and it's people that we had shot at a basketball tournament a couple of years ago. And just to see the amount that they had grown, in the time span, it's just amazing. And you don't get that in a lot of other places. You just don't get that visual representation the way you do in TV. So I think that's special.
It is. And it's nice to have those long-term partnerships with people that have been supporters and are partners for many years, like Able Youth. So that's always great that we're able to do that. I wanted to update people on our efforts as a board in the last year. We've really been focused on strategic planning and figuring out kind of structurally what we want to do, where we want to go in the future. And one of those, for the first year, we are participating in the Big Payback.
Yeah.
And that's a fundraising effort that runs May 5th and May 6th. It is community-wide, but for the first time, NECAT is participating in that. So people may see us on Facebook Live. We're going to be on Facebook Live a couple of times, the evening of May 5th and then in the morning of May 6th. So if you are able to join us on our Facebook page, please do that. We're really going to push for people. We're trying to get unique donors, and it can be $5, $500, $5,000. We will take it, but we're trying to get the word out about NECAT as much as we can, really raise awareness and raise a little funds while we're doing it. So we hope everybody will join us for that. You can also find out more information on our website, necatnetwork.org. There is a page on our website about the Big Payback. And you'll see myself and Cameron and other board members on those 2 days on Facebook. We will be posting and sharing, and of course, those Facebook Live. Any other events, Cameron, that we've got coming up? I know we're sending out emails about the Big Payback, but I think I've covered everything. Have I forgotten anything in there?
Yeah, our big highlight definitely is the Big Payback that's coming up, in this next week. It's been really fun for me because this last few weeks we've been kind of highlighting on social media some things that we have done both in the past and kind of during the pandemic, and just seeing the faces again, and just, we're all ready to get back to the studio, obviously. But I think this is a way that people can look at what NECAT's done and kind of say like, hey, we want to support this. We want to put our money where we know our eyeballs are, because I think there are a lot of people that are, they may not be interested in making television, but they love watching, NECAT at home. We offer some of the most unique programming, across the television dial for sure. And so I think in that way, this is a great way to just say, hey, I don't have much, but I can put a little bit here. And like, my $5 may not, buy a new television camera or whatnot, but I can always share this video and tell other people, tell my friends like, hey, I gave $5. Why don't you give $5? And if enough people do that, obviously it does, make a difference. What I always tell people is like, it's real easy sometimes to think like, well, I'm just going to write this check, and it's like a $5 bill or $20 bill or whatever it is, and you don't know where that goes. It feels almost faceless sometimes. But the great thing about NECAT is you can see the faces of the people that it impacts on television. You can turn it on and know that every person that walks through the door is a place that is, they're coming in to share their voice. From everybody from student age, students that are like youth age. We deal with all the different public schools to do these job shadow programs and things like that, to our adult learners who just want to create something. They're people like you and me who work a regular 9-to-5 job, but they come home and they have these creative things in their mind that they just want to get out. And so NECAT offers them a place where they can have all of this equipment and have all of this space and just give them room to do the things that they want to do, and not only allow them to do it, but teach them how to do it. That's super special. And every dime that goes to this helps make that happen, long term. So I think that's super special. And I do hope that everyone at home gets involved with a Big Payback. And just, again, even if you can't spare a dime right now, because we know times are tough, things are hard right now. But, post that thing on Instagram, say, let people know, hey, this is going on, support NECAT however you can. And year round always, like Shauna Lynn said, at necatnetwork.org, you can always donate. Or if you just got questions, you can shoot me an email. I'm right on the website. You can, say, hey, we have these things. And we've got a lot of really, neat ways that people have donated in the past where they say, hey, I don't have cash, but like we have all this old paint that we can donate. We have these, these old sets from, we may have done a play years and years ago. We've had, stuff like that, or old costumes and things like that. We're always open to the idea of, if you've got something that would work for television, hit us up. Like we'll come and get it. We can always use it.
And I think that's a really good point. That's a great point. We are a small organization, but we're a mighty organization. And any amount donated will make a tremendous amount of good for NECAT. And if you are unable financially to donate right now, we completely understand that. This has been a tough year for a lot of people. But sharing it on Facebook, sharing it on Instagram, on your social media platforms, if you're on our email list, forward the email. Really help us raise awareness. That is equally as important as the amount we raised during the Big Payback. So we're trying to get the word out about NECAT, that we are here, that we are creative, we are an outlet for people. And like you said, I mean, we job shadow with children. We have the Predators Foundation efforts that we do with them, which is a great partnership to watch those kids get to hear from some great professionals in the business. And then also to see all the creative things that are on our channel for those that maybe haven't watched or don't watch as much. Should we plug our channels as well, or how do people watch, Cameron?
Yeah. So
what are our options?
If you're in Nashville, you can watch us with Comcast Cable. We're on channels 9, 10, and 19. That's Music City Arts, IQTV, the education program, and channel 19, which is Public Access Nashville. That's where all of our members make their, everything that you see on 19 is basically local. It's stuff that's being made by people in the community. And depending on what time of day you tune in, you can see everything from, like I say, Dr. Gangrene doing his Saturday Night Monster movies, to people sharing their faith, on Sunday mornings, to people like with Feel Good Friday, just talking about nonprofits. We're still running our, classically we talked about Able Youth, but the wheelchair basketball tournament that they did. And I actually just talked again with Amy Saffel today. This next one that's coming up, we're gonna tape and run that one too. So I'm really excited about all the programming that's coming soon. We've got just endless amounts. There's always something that you can watch over there. If you're into music video, you can turn it into Music City Arts. Every morning we show 4 hours of independent music videos from all types of music. So whether you like rock and roll, or you like rap and R&B, if you like indie stuff, or just more like guitar-based acoustic music, we've got all of that stuff tuned in all the time, and they rotate. Every week there's new videos that come on and ones that come off. So you'll see some local artists and you'll see some national artists that you may have never seen before, in ways that, like, obviously MTV is not playing music videos anymore. If you want to watch that, a lot of times you've got to go find it on the internet. So a cool way to find new music is just turn NECAT on in the morning when you're working from home, just as your soundtrack, because you may look up and say, hey, I really like this song, or I really like this group that I've never heard of before, and find one of your new favorite musical acts. There's just so much, there's just so much good programming there. It's just a matter of, say, tuning in. What I tell people too is, like, if you want to help promote NECAT in a way that doesn't cost you anything, whenever you are watching NECAT at home, take a photo of your television set and say, hey, I'm watching this on channel 9, channel 10, or channel 19 right now, and post it to your Twitter and your Instagram. Let people know that you're watching, because I think that's how the word gets out about, the type of programming. We're, it's like, we are a small organization. We don't have the means to advertise on billboards. You're not going to see us showing things like The Walking Dead, or, whatever is hot on TV right now, whatever everyone's watching. We don't have the marketing budget of Netflix or Amazon Prime or any of that stuff. So you telling people that you like this show is what's going to get the word out about it. It's been pretty interesting, because every Saturday night on Twitter, like, say, I mentioned before, like, we show Dr. Gangrene's monster movie, and just about every night at 9 o'clock, my phone starts dinging, because people are tweeting and retweeting that they're watching the show, and they're talking about all the zany things that he's doing over there. And we get messages from all around the world, because not only are we available in Nashville on Comcast, but we have a Roku channel that reaches out to anyone. So if you have a Roku and you're watching this outside, you can just basically search NECAT on that device and pull up any of our 3 channels there. And we're also on AT&T Uverse on channel 100. If you go to channel 100 and look in your Dropbox, basically there's a NECAT channel right there, and you can tune in anywhere, basically in all of Middle Tennessee. We're just in just about every county. It feels like all the way from, like, Jackson almost all the way over to Knoxville, that you can get us one way or the other, locally through your cable stuff. And again, it's like, if you don't have a Roku box and you don't have cable and you don't have that, you can always tune in on the website, necatnetwork.org. All 3 channels are live streaming 24/7. If you tuned in right now, you would see a little box, and you can watch all 3 at once, even if you wanted to, and kind of see just what's on. And the program schedule's there too. So if you've got a show that you're like, hey, I really like, there's a music program called Chico and B-Man that we literally have people from all over the world that watch it. We get emails from Brazil and South America, down in South America, over in Africa. People are just watching the show because those guys are super talented, and they're also very funny. And they basically, that's how they're watching it right now, is they're watching it on the web at necatnetwork.org. But you can look at the schedule there and say, Chico and B-Man are on at these times on all these different places, and kind of tune in and adjust accordingly, for whatever your time zone is. And I think that's one of the ways that has been super interesting, how things have changed. It's like, used to, it's like you had to have cable locally in town to watch it. But back when we were showing, like, the Bat Poet, and that was the biggest show in town. everyone loved it. I cannot imagine what the Bat Poet would have done if we would have had a Roku device, back in the day where everybody could have watched it worldwide.
Right.
And so
anybody can watch it anytime.
yeah. And so I just, I think it's awesome that people are seeing it in all these different ways. And I don't know, it's weird to think that like there are people on other parts of the planet who make a point every week to stop whatever they're doing at a certain time and say, I'm tuning in to this. I want to, they want to watch Dorothy Pettaway do her hair shows, Styles and Profiles. They want to see all the different musical acts that come on the Jesse Goldberg show. Like all of those great people that have been making shows here in Nashville. Like Jesse's been on the air for over 20 years now as well. And it's like, and consistently making new programs. So there's a lot of content there. And I'll say too, like if you want to look at some of that back catalog, it's super easy to go search it on our YouTube channel. NECAT has its own dedicated YouTube channel where a lot of this old content lives forever. It's like stuff that we may not air in rotation all the time. You can still go back and see these old episodes, see some of the old events that we've done in the past. We've done so many great camp programs. It's like where we brought in makeup artists and they show you how to make things. All of that stuff is there on the YouTube channel, so you can get tutorials on how to make stuff at home, or how to make stuff cheaply sometimes, because I feel like that's kind of what we are experts at, is like how to make something look cool whenever you have no money at all, because that is constantly where we're at, which is why we're asking you again.
That's where people are.
Payback.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where people are.
Yep.
That's the majority of us. So lots of ways to watch us, lots of ways to find our content. I think this has been a great Feel Good Friday. Loved highlighting NECAT for it. To remind everybody, Facebook Live, May 5th, we're going to go live at 6 p.m. So hopefully everybody can join us for that. The focus will be the big payback. And then, of course, that runs through May 6th. So you'll see emails and social media about that. Go to our website, share it with your friends, neighbors, family, anybody that may be interested in learning more about NECAT and supporting us and raising awareness. So thank you all for joining us. Cameron, thank you for joining us for Feel Good Friday.